pointing and some sardines. And what else do we got? What else is that?
Sardines and sardines.
Sardines and sardines, alright.
And peanut butter, look.
Tom's got peanut butter he's putting around. And
you know what I'm going to do?
Chris has got some
I'm going to stick it right here. Let's see.
And I've got some apple pie.
What we're doing is we're setting up a camera trap. We got the sardines, the peanut butter. I'm not sure where the apple pie is going yet, but we got Evan's camera over here, pointing right at the bait. And then we circle around here. We got my game camera pointing. And then over here, we have Tom's game camera. So we have 3 game cameras, all pointing at this one target location. And we'll see if we trigger anything. If anything triggers the cameras, and
just set that right on top of that jar of peanut butter.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun night. So here is the sardines. And just a few feet from the sardines, I set up the audio recorder. I've already turned it on, time marked it. And we got the 3 cameras pointing at the sardines. Tom's over there at my camera, camouflaging it, putting some leaves around it. And Evans and Troy went down here to look at some interesting tree structures that we weren't sure if it was heavy equipment that did it, or something unknown did it, or weather did it, caused it.
Heel, big toe, other toes.
Yeah, and that's pointing right towards your game camera right here that you put up this afternoon.
Interesting. I mean, it's not, I didn't bring a tape measure, but that's probably what, about
Here's my bottle.
9 inches?
Here's my bottle of that, and we can measure it later.
Something went forced because this branch right here is split in 2. It's a very good question though, because it definitely wasn't the bucket with me or the dozer.
Right, right. There's been a lot of clearing in this area, but the dozer pushed up to this tree, but it didn't push over this bur oak tree. And we're trying to figure out why they would have bothered to take the bucket on a backhoe and push the top down. Why wouldn't they, like these other trees along here, why didn't they just push it over or saw it off? And yet there's freshly cut pine trees over here, and the pine tree limbs have been woven into this, to the top, holding the top down, and through this right here, there's another big pine branch that's been woven through there. Would the guys have taken the time to do that?
What's this?
So that's what we're trying to figure out. If it was the crew, why didn't they just push it over with a dozer or saw it off? How would they have bent it over like that? And there's all kinds of pine limbs, fresh pine limbs piled on to holding the top of the tree down over here, and there's another tree that has been pushed over across the top, and another piece of limb back there that has been crossed over, holding the top down.
Kicked back
Yeah,
this direction.
yeah.
And we found a couple of spots over there like that was similar to this.
Is that a hill back there, Troy? Off to your right?
You may got a light.
Yeah.
I'll show you how the easiest way to...
Oh, you catch the possible.
Yeah.
That one too bright?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see less. That's an intention there.
What it is, kicked the dirt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was coming this direction.
Okay.
Could be one of our shoes.
So, well, but...
I don't see no tracks.
Well,
Almost
Yes, I
wonder if
I got a green one too.
their toes hit those roots
Yeah.
and slipped
Yeah.
on the roots.
So what it does, what you do with the, see how it brings out the definition better?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of. That's interesting because Jerry and I found a couple spots over there. They weren't very big, so whoever it was not all that, they weren't all that big.
So you noticed it being there when we came down, when we first came down?
down this direction.
All right, so it was down here before we came,
Yes.
before we set out the sardine trap. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and trade something. If Derek can come up with something.
Battery, got the earplugs, and I got a knife I can take the blade out of.
Well, whatever you're willing to leave behind. So what are you putting down? All those things?
Putting down a knife and the earplugs, keeping the battery.
Okay.
Taking the rock.
All right. Awesome.
By myself, but since you're here, maybe it's your turn, and I'll just get to see one off your turn.
Oh, okay. Hey, I don't care who sees one. Be cool if one of us gets to. Here's the walk back up to camp. It's pretty steep. This is a newer trail that's been made since I've been here. I haven't been to this location in a couple of years. And they got a new trail. It's closer to camp, but it's steeper than the other trail. So Evans, we got the four-wheeler in the background, so speak up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we come down the hill from behind the lodge, and we're setting up a campfire area, a listening post area in the woods down by Honaby Creek, and I was facing east, and a little stick hit me in the back of the leg. Was thrown from behind me, I'm guessing. The woods back to the west, but anyway.
Okay, so this is the direction where Evans had the stick thrown at him, right from behind our base camp, our fire that we were building. I just thought I would scan the area real quick, see if we saw any unusual heat signatures behind us.
Shade all day or something.
Okay, so Evans is pointing out this white figure, white heat signature. It's just above the, on this screen, it's just above the stump, like the top left-hand corner of the stump, just a little bit above that, in between some trees, way back there. You can see a white hot heat signature. We're keeping our eye on it. We'll see if it gets closer as the night goes, or if it stays there, or if it disappears. So Troy and Jim, they said once we got here to this area, they were, and sat down after we got the fire going, they've been hearing something in this direction where I saw this heat signature. I'm not saying that that's what they're hearing, but they're hearing something come from that same direction. We're keeping our eyes on it. It appears to kind of move a little bit, but it could be an optical illusion. Whatever it is, it's like being stationary and like staying in that one spot.
So about 6 o'clock this morning, we're sitting on the back porch just listening, seeing what we could hear, and just right off where we left our trail cameras last night, heard one distinct whistle, and about a minute later, way off in the distance, heard a response probably to it. That's the only two we'd heard, or I heard all morning. Never heard them again, just two whistles.
Evans just heard a soft wood knock, he says, and the camera's pointing in the direction of the game camera trap. So So I just started rolling the camera as we approach it. See if what's happened to the sardine can. You can see it hanging there still. All the gifts still there?
All
Yeah.
just still there.
Okay. On the stump.
Good morning. It's Saturday morning, and we have come down the hill behind the lodge, down in the creek bottom on Honebby Creek, and we are checking. We checked the game cameras, pulled the SD cards. We're reading the SD cards. So far, nothing on the SD cards but us coming back and forth last night. We did yesterday afternoon when we set up the cameras. We did leave some. Tom left some peanut butter, and Chris left an apple pie, and Tom left a pile of sardines on this stump. Nothing has touched them. We also left a small apple pie on another stump. Something bit the corner of it off, but it's just interesting that all this is down here, the peanut butter, the sardines, the sweets, and nothing else has touched it. Nothing has touched the bait cans hanging from the tree, the sardines, nothing has touched those. But what we're perplexed by is why none of the small critters, skunks, possums, raccoons, why they didn't take the peanut butter or the sardines or the apple pies that were easily accessible on the ground. So just some interesting things that we're looking at this morning. So Troy, is this some Bigfoot sign here?
No, I would actually pretty much tell you because of the time of the year we're in and the location, because we have deer tracks, doe, we've got buck everywhere. This is gonna be a scrape with a rub. I don't know, are they? Yeah, so right here.
What is a scrape and a rub?
So he's scraping, or he or she is scraping, because you have one right there behind where Ryan's standing. No, I don't know the biology behind the scrape and certain things, but you know, usually this time of the year, that's where most of the deer hunters are, you know, got signed that I mean, are they're rubbing that velvet off?
Velvet off, yeah, they're rubbing their
velvet
antlers
off. So he rubbed this way and then back that direction.
Yeah.
And actually, other than you can tell how fresh it is, it's sticky because this is a little pine tree because there's still sap.
Yep.
And then right here you can see where the scrapings are.
Yep.
From the.
So yeah,
From
and
the
they'll come up. The buck will come up. He'll urinate in this. He'll paw the dirt away, urinate in it, and leave it as a sign for a doe. When the doe comes by, if she's in
Right there.
if she's in heat or estrus, she will urinate in the spot so he can come back by and check it and see if there's an active doe in the area ready for breeding.
So, and here's a question for you. What typical trees do you normally see rubs on?
Usually small, tender saplings, yeah.
Yep. Why would, you know, and that's the other thing is you're looking for those pine or even the cedars outside of the hardwood. Normally, if I see rubs on the hardwood, typically, in my opinion, that's usually a hog. But I have seen videos and stuff where the deer will actually get up against it and you know, rub up against the tree and then move on.
Yeah.
But this is done on purpose.
Yeah. So this is natural wildlife sign. It's not not Bigfoot sign.
No.
Evans and I are walking down here to the camera traps, the 3 camera traps, the triangle. And we were walking down the hill and we had a rock thrown to our left at the top of the hill. It hit in the brush. We could hear the rock go through the leaves and through just the brush and stuff like that. And then I heard Chris drop a log at the bottom of the hill because he was carrying some firewood down for the fire tonight for base camp. So anyway, we're gonna have to go ask the guys back at the cabin if they were throwing rocks towards our way to mess with us or if they're just doing that to play around or what. but we'll figure that out. But right now, I'm going to set my recorder out for night number 2. I'm going to go back and listen to night number 1. Derek said he heard a whistle this morning, so I'm going to go back and try to find that audio, see if I caught the whistle. It was supposed to be coming from down here, down below. And then I'm just going to listen for other sounds, of course. And hopefully we'll have better luck with the game cameras tonight.
Hey, this is Evans. So it's another exciting evening, Saturday evening near Honubby. This evening we split into 2 teams. One team is down below the church camp on Honubby Creek, monitoring that area for activity. And then another team, Ryan, Tom, and myself, we went to what's called the Honubby Loop on the backside of Honubby, and it follows along the Little River. We went to 2 different bridges there and set up some listening posts and used FLIR, and we're looking for any activity up and down Little River. We saw some interesting images on the therm, but nothing that just really, jumped out at us or anything like that. But it's a beautiful evening, a little cool, but still, and beautiful stars, all that. So we've come back to the camp now, and we're getting ready to go down below, down on Honubby Creek, and meet up with our other team of Troy and Scott and Chris and Derek, and see if they've had any activity down there in the creek bottom.